Good evening, everybody. It is indeed just about 6 p.m. Monday, and it is the second Monday of the month, so we're on for an educational. Welcome to you all, whether you're a member of our group or not. We do have only the whatever you might call this Dynamic Edge DT2. It is what it is. Surprised to see so few of us on actually, because I'm expecting this one to be one of my good ones. We give it a couple of moments, we'll let people join. I am recording, so it doesn't matter. Join, don't join, you know me, I don't mind. We're on anyway. Again, 6 p.m. every second Monday, and I'm recording. So I'm going to begin. Hi Rosette, nice to see you on. Thanks for joining. I do appreciate you being here. So welcome everybody. There you go. The numbers are rising. People are getting in. I'll give it until 6:01. I tell you what, 6:01 before I sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Dive in with me little speech. And well, there you go. It's 6:01. Let's dive in with me little speech. Cheers, Bridget. Nice to have you. Now, we talked a little last time about a nice safe job, didn't we? At the likes of Twitter or Meta, maybe. Twitter gave you a 50-50 chance of being fired just before Christmas, proving it's as safe indeed as a nice bank job. Again, the safe being the best part to hit, perhaps albeit with a bit of dynamite or plastic, etc. Well, I am from Liverpool. Deal with it. There are many other companies, aren't there, letting people go or downsizing, if you prefer that word. Ulster Bank here in Ireland just pulled out of Ireland altogether, letting many bank employees join the unemployment welfare queue again just before Christmas. Lots of adverts. Your bank broke up with you. Here, we'll take you and charge you a fortune because banks are getting scarce now, aren't they? We also talked about cash flow, didn't we? Cash flow? Well, price action, cash flow, price action, same thing really. But what many people go through life with the cash flow mindset of income minus expenses equal savings. Really? Yeah. And in the olden days, as I keep telling my little girl, we talk lots, she and I, about the olden days. Well, I was there. I suppose I remember. It should be that we take income minus savings equals expenses. This is the path to a money mindset. I remember indeed when I was young thinking, well, I'll need to save this much each month if I'm going to buy that, and this much if I'm going to buy this. And I never considered things like loans. I didn't know they existed way back then when I was sort of growing and thinking, how the hell am I going to get myself out of the shithole I'm in at the moment? We also talked about range finding and back testing. But I do believe that path to money mindset is something that everybody should consider seriously. If you haven't already, consider writing it down. Income minus savings equals expenses. That's the right way to do it, not income minus expenses equals savings. You know, in the olden days, they used to take the good corn and replant that so that you get better corn. Hi, Dave. Not, in fact, the rubbish corn that you couldn't eat. That wasn't planted, it was binned. Now, we've also talked many times in the past about the many mathematical laws that we adhere to here in our group, in our trading generally, especially as they apply so strongly to us. Laws of mathematical probability, variable change, and of course the all and ever important Fibanacci rules or laws. Now, tonight, after what has been a seriously heavy week, last week for me anyway, I want to talk about something very similar. Being as how Fibonacci is a natural law of nature. We've discussed it as such, it's recognized as such, it is what it is. If you don't know about it, deal with it, suck it up, read about it and find out. Fibonacci is a natural law of nature. So I want to discuss with you all this other regularly occurring law of nature. And it is a very big deal to many of you. Many of you haven't really considered this. I'm sure you can't possibly have considered this, or I wouldn't hear from, oh, it did this, then it did that, oh, no. It did nothing that you weren't expecting. So far, the markets have done nothing to us that we weren't expecting in any of our live webinars. And when they did, we'd say, well, we weren't expecting that, so we're going to sit back now and do nothing. And then we cannot get into trouble, can we? That's how we've played our game. We don't play really the game. We don't play the fool either. The straight bat defeats the tricky ball, doesn't it? Not that I'm a cricket fan, but the straight bat beats a fist to the jaw any day, don't it? You know, being from Liverpool and all that. So, this law that I wish to talk about tonight is the law of wasted effort. What? You're all thinking, the law of wasted effort? What is he on about now? Well, let me tell you. Do you know that lions only succeed in a quarter of their hunting attempts, which means they fail 75% of their attempts to kill something and eat it? They succeed then only 25% of the time. Now, how did this come up? Well, I'm sitting watching natural history programs with my daughter, and there's lions on the telly, and I says to her, that's our name in French, you know. You're Stacey Leone, I'm James Leone. This is our name. We should watch this, because I didn't really want to watch Peppa Pig. I would have settled for Bluey, but she didn't want to watch that. So anyway, I managed to convince her to watch this thing about lions. And obviously, the ever so clever Attenborough fella goes on about they fail in 75% of their attempts. They succeed in only 25% of them. That's the law of wasted effort. Despite the small percentage shared by most predators, in fact, they do not despair in their pursuit. In other words, they don't go hungry for long, and the hunting attempts they carry on. The main reason, apparently, for this is not because of hunger, as you might think, but it is that they, clever bastards though they may be, they have an understanding of the law of wasted efforts. It's been instinctively built into animals, it's probably been beaten out of us. A law in which nature is governed. Half of the eggs of fish are eaten, probably more. Half of the baby bears die before puberty. Most of the world's rain falls in the oceans, and most of the seeds of trees are eaten by birds. Scientists have found that animals, trees, and other forces of nature are more receptive to the law of wasted efforts. Only humans, us, idiots that we are, think that the lack of success in a few attempts is a failure. I can't do it. I can't. You'll be amazed how often and how regularly I've heard that. And well, perhaps it's not so much these days, but I've heard that a lot in the past. I can't do it. The truth is, we only fail when we stop trying. Why do we stop trying then? Pussy babbies, are we? Namby-pambies? What's I don't know. What is the reason? Success is not to have a life free of pitfalls or fails, but success is to walk over your mistakes and go beyond every stage where your efforts were wasted, looking forward to the next stage. If there is a word that summarizes this world, it will simply be continue. Continue all over again, never stop at any stage of difficulty. I suppose Churchill said it best, didn't he? When you're going through hell, keep going. Keep moving, keep thinking, keep trying, and above all, remain neutral in your emotions. I had to have a conversation with my wife last week. It wasn't a pleasant conversation by any means, but we had a conversation. That's the reality. I'll tell you a little. I won't tell you anything about it actually, but I will tell you we had a conversation, and I was quite neutral in my emotions throughout the whole thing, and we went into that in detail. She couldn't get her head around why have you no emotion on this, and she blames that okay, you had a childhood where you were dumped and fostered out and wrenched off the street and what have you, and yeah, okay, I did. Many of you know that. Doesn't matter. I don't think that's it. I don't know. Many of you know I've been through a couple of wars. Literally at least two. I've been on battlefields and wars, and I've seen people disappear from my side. My right ear still don't work properly to this day because of that bugger on the right there who just like, well, yeah, pink mist and all that. It was bloody loud, so my right ear is kind of knackered. It happens. Take it on the chin. And emotions? Well, here we are looking at a chart. We're trading. It's not like anybody can get physically harmed in this now, is it? You really can't. So if you're of that mindset that is the namby-pamby, I can't do it, what if I fail? I would ask, please get a grip. Look at yourself in the mirror, maybe slap yourself while you're looking at yourself in the mirror and ask, just exactly what are you thinking? Do it properly. Wait for the right setups. We've discussed that on many occasions. Wait for exactly the right setups. The right setups that you know work. If I was to right click on this chart now and I was to say, well, come on, I've clicked, there you go, load template. Well, look at the list, it's huge. Some of you know what that is. And you bloody well know it's amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's brilliant. Those are brilliant. But they are this. Where are you? Trigger two. Trigger two. They're all paled into insignificance by this. And what are we looking at? Well, you could call it that. I don't know if you could. The old names for it have gone now. No, there they are. DWL3. The upgrades. All these. These are very, very old. That's the way it is. There is a right thing to do. A next right step. So yeah, we had a conversation about remaining neutral in your emotions, and it was serious. There were serious issues at play, not just sitting down to do a job at a computer. Serious, life-changing stuff. At the end of it all, look, it is what it is. There are decisions to be made. It is what it is. I know what I want. I know that's it. I know what I want in my future. I was handed a few of life lessons, a few of those life lessons recently with loss, with risked loss, family, close personal friends. Tragic it is, tragic it may be, but life is for the living. We need deal with it. I used to say, tap and move on. Tap, mark the spot, move on. It is what it is. Yesterday, a dream, tomorrow, a desire. How do you want to play the game? Do you want to focus on yesterday? You're not going that way. When you drive, do you focus looking in the rear view mirror? Well, then you're going to hit the guy in front because you ain't going that way. You need to look at what comes next. What will you do next? That is far more important than the mistakes that you have already made. You can't change them. They're done. It's done. It's over. Put it behind you, tap, and move on. The majority, if not all, of our strategies deliver precise and detailed entries, trade management, and exit points. The one we're viewing here, yeah, okay, it's the oldest and by now perhaps the weakest even of ours. But one good strategy and the smarts to use it. Note that part carefully, won't you? As it really is the deciding factor. The difference between the gambler mindset and the professional trader. In this instance, the screen we're looking at here, we ask ourselves a one of part four, or a four-part question. Part one, part two, part three, part four. Has this done that? Well, yeah. Has that done this? Well, yeah. Is that above there? It is. Is that above there? No. So this is a 3 out of 4. That entry would have been a 3 out of 4. And for your efforts, if we said, 560? It's less than 560. The entry would be about 555, wouldn't it? As at now, you'd be nursing, assuming you had the nuts to stay in the trade, you'd be nursing a 30 pip win, wouldn't you? Because the rules apply, the rules are real. We've broken above one of our lines. We've got a W, an X, A, B, C, W pattern. That's the reality. We had lower lows, we had higher lows. So we had bullish divergence. We rejected a line, we rejected two of them, and we broke north, and it's still going. However, There will be those amongst you who said, well, I banked 5 pips, but on this buy here, I lost 30 because I held it all the way down to here. And the minute it started turning around, that's when I closed the trade. Well, that's not discipline, lads. It's really not. It's not built into the rules of our strategy to do that. And yet, I still hear from people who did that. They did exactly that. I heard from one person, a very, what's the word I'm looking for, experienced presenter himself. He presents webinars. I've got a one-to-one with him tomorrow to try and help him. But he did, looking at that pattern there, he did exactly what I've just said. He didn't take the long. He didn't see the W. He took the short, held the short, didn't come out. So took the short, held the short, thinking it would come back, held the short, held the short. So if he got in somewhere here, he held this short and failed to look at the bigger picture, X, A, B, C, W. A beautiful W. And for those of you who might not be familiar with trading, you are lit up so I can use you. There it is. Look, it's a real thing. X, A, B, C, W, and I'll have a chat with the gentleman tomorrow and try and fix his mindset. There's a break below a previous low. I would have pulled the plug right there. But if we said 585 from 555, then it's 30 pips. Have we had a lower low prior to that? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. No, we haven't. That was the first lower low. That then would have been your pigeon. That would have been all day your reason to pull a plug, wouldn't it? An entry, because this has done that. That's done this. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. I don't care it's only a little higher. It's still higher, 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 and out. And all. Simples. That's it. Now, they won't all go 30 pips. Some of them won't go 20 pips. Some of them won't go 10. But you will know by the time it gets there why it's not going there anymore. Or you should. And if you don't, it's quite probable that there's something that you're missing. And if you're missing, that's okay. You'll get it. Time. It takes time. There's no rush. You think about it. Think about it seriously for me for a moment. You want a job at, what are they called? Twitter? Meta? Who else is letting people go? Ulster Bank? You want one of those jobs? A nice, safe bank job? Is that what you want? Or do you want to rely on someone you can trust? Who do you think you can most trust? Well, it's you, isn't it? You. Individually you. I don't care if you're married and you trust your wife or your husband. I don't care if you're living with your mum and dad and you trust them. What is it says in that song? Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one will run out. So you can rely on you, but only if you can trust you. Well, can you? I can trust me. I know I will sit at the charts and I will do the right thing. I might make other mistakes. I'm good at doing stupid things. Just a man, we do that. But when I sit down at the charts, mistakes are forbidden. Mistakes out the way. No emotion. You sit there, you relaxed. I don't care who got dead. I don't care what's where, who's what messages, nothing. I don't care. You focus on the process. You look for the correct place to get in and the correct way to manage what you've done and the correct way to get out. Now, if that doesn't sound fair, I'm not sure how. Well, I am sure how we can help you, but I need then individually your details, your story, the what did you did, how did you did it, why did you did it, usually, because all of that is usually the difference between the professional trader, the gambler, or perhaps not just the gambler, but the guy that thought, I saw this, thought that was going to happen. Yeah, whatever it is you think is going to happen, don't prejudge. Really, do not prejudge the charts. Wait, let it happen. Let it show you its true course. Let it show you everything. Let it be above the line. Look at this one. It's above the line on the close of the bar. So have you waited for the close of the bar? So here's your pigeon. And you're in, and it's a higher low, and so on. All the way up for 30 pips right there. What's the problem? There isn't one. Same story here. Wait for it to be below the line. If you go on the close of the bar, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, 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 out. And what would it have delivered for you? Let's see what it would have delivered for you. From the close of the bar to the first break, 19 pips. Okay, then show me where's the problem. Lads, where really is the problem? Or is the problem that you fear making the mistakes you've made in the past? Is it that you fear making the mistakes your parents made? Don't let me put them down. I don't mean to put them down. But what I mean is, I had a real dad, obviously, and a foster family. And my foster mum said to me, chase the money, lad. Best advice I ever got. But my real dad now, he said to me, you ever want to find the easiest way of doing something? You find the laziest git you can and you get him to do it first. He'll find the easy way of doing it. Sadly and honestly, it's always been me that's found the easy way of chasing and catching the money. The other thing I got from my real dad, he said to me, if ever anyone puts a spade in your hand, take it in your right hand, do 3 circles while the spade is extended, and then let go while the spade is pointing up in the air so that it flies as far away from you as you possibly can throw it. And I didn't know what he meant. And he said, if you got a spade in your hand and someone gave it you, you're going to work now. So, okay, that's probably the best advice I ever got from my real dad. Pretty much everything else, actually, no, in fairness, he did teach me a few decent things. Gave me my first gun. Pretty much a nutcase he was. It is what it is. It's all done now and behind me. But again, recently, things like that were brought to the forefront, and a conversation was had and discussions and stuff like that. It happens, as you go through life. You can never truly escape your past. So, at some stage you got to face up to it. That means that your parents who said to you, chop, chop, busy, busy, work, work, bang, bang. Yeah, they didn't really do you any favours, lads. Apologies for the truth there, but that is the truth. You think you're doing more by sitting, well, I'll buy this, oh, I'll sell that, oh, I'll buy this then, now I'll sell that now. No, you're not being effective. You got to watch, you got to focus, you got to push a button down here. Once, click, I'm in the buy. Is he higher than him? Yeah, still in the buy. Is he? Yeah. 60 seconds it takes for these bars to paint. There's one over there somewhere. Look. Oh, I'm in the sell. Lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, not lower, low. If you came out there, I'll give you that. If you came out there, I'll give you that. But you know what it isn't? It isn't a bloody loss. That's what it isn't. That's the reality. And if you bought there, I just want to kill you now, because why would you want to buy that? Is it a hopper? No. Well, what's your problem? What bit don't you get? It's very, very crystal clear, really. That's the kind of, oh, well, I thought it was gone, eh? Yeah, for a moment it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't. On the closed bar, it's not. No, no, no. Just no. Don't even go there. You can make any excuses you like. You can give me your best Scooby-Doo impression, and I listen if it's your first time and you're new to me or something. I listen and I let you do that Scooby-Doo thing. But I'll only let you do it like once or twice. After that, we're going to have a proper conversation about what it is you want from this. And do you really want it? Or, otherwise, what are you doing here? Whose time are you wasting, really? Yours? Because, I'm here anyway. I'll push the buttons, take the money and walk away. What you going to do? That's the reality. And the truth of the matter. And anyone who tells you, I keep getting these MT4, MT5, let us sell you this indicator. This one's only $37 and this one's only that many dollars. Oh, piss off. If it was that bloody good, would they sell it for $37? If you looked at it on screen, if they gave you a glance at it, could you not just copy it yourself? Because I could. There's pretty much nothing you can show me on screen that I couldn't say, oh, that's one of them. Okay, leave your picture on screen. I'll go to that market, go to that time frame, and bump, got one. There you go. Thank you very much. Now clear off with your $37. You guys, you're in this group. You don't need to pay for anything at all. If you see something that looks fancy and sparkly and, oh, but it's got this bells and whistles on it, James, show me it. and we'll figure out together what it is, and we'll build it for you free if you absolutely must have it. But realistically, you probably don't need it. One good strategy, the smarts to use it. And then remember the laws that we've talked about, the mathematical laws that we've discussed on many occasions. The law of probability, variable change, Fibanacci, and now the latest one we've brought in, the law of wasted effort. It really is only a waste of effort if you give up. That's it. If you give up, no, I can't do it, and I'm using the pussy babby voice, because if you come at me with that, then I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Because this is not hard. It's not dangerous. If someone said, oh, I trained to be a fireman, but I couldn't do it because, well, I don't care what the reason is after that. Maybe you had to scrape up dead bits off a road. Maybe you had to cut someone. Maybe you had to walk into a fire. If you gave up that, hats off to you, mate, and fair play, and I don't mind. But if you gave up this trading with any kind of whiny ass excuse, then I probably haven't got much in the way of respect for you, because this is the easiest thing in the world. A policeman, a doctor, a dentist, all of those people have to deal with real trauma. You know, I can only imagine a child in a chair screaming blue murder because their tooth is aching, and the poor dentist's got to calm them down while he gets them to open their gob and shove something in it. A surgeon who has to risk somebody's life to save it. A policeman, same. Maybe he's got to risk someone's life to save it. A soldier, same. Maybe he just hasn't got to risk any lives, but he's got to take a lot of them. It is what it is. Those are things I'd accept if someone says, oh, I give up, I can't do it. But this, what? Now you're in that sector, that 75% of failures who give up because you can't do it. And if you're doing it properly, you've been demo until you've hit your 80-20 and your 1.2 times whole percentage. And you've shown me that. I think there's three people in the world ever who showed me that. And yes, they're all substantially wealthy now. They really are. Three people in all of the time I've been teaching have said to me, there's my journal, James, that's my 80-20, there's my 1.2 times whole percentage or better. That's it. Nice one, Alice. Thank you. I look forward to that. Appreciate it. I'm sure you will, actually. I've seen your efforts already, and I applaud that. Well done to you. That's what discipline looks like, children. That's it. Nice one, Dason. I'm hopeful. Remember, I'm here, and you only have to reach out, and I'll do the one-to-ones. The one-to-one I'm doing tomorrow at 4 o'clock. He's not one of ours. He's nothing to do with our group at all. But he reached out. He presents webinars. He doesn't know where he went wrong or why he went wrong. And he'll go on presenting webinars, teaching people, and they'll get it wrong. So either I help him or I let him watch people fail. What would you do? I'm going to help him. Is there any money in it for me? No. Do I care? No. I'm a trader. I can do it. I'll help him. That's the reality. And I'm here for you. You're all in my group. Or you want to be. I'll help you. It's no problem. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We've ran for almost 30 minutes. I hope you got this topic, the law of wasted effort. I will drop it onto YouTube shortly for you. I'll end the recording in a moment. Are there any questions? Does anyone want to ask any questions before I clobber the recording and say thank you? Cheers, Damo. Thanks, Bridget and Hunter and everybody. Thank you for joining me this evening. It is always nice to know I ain't talking just to a computer. Thanks, Carol. All right, I'll assume no more questions. I'll say please trade safe. I'll see you all on the next live webinar, and good evening.